Welcome to classes by Inspire Physics. Today we are going to see a few concepts related to electric current, and this is included in the syllabus of class 10 CBSE. Okay, so we know that we know the difference between conductors and insulators. Conductors, there are two types of materials. Conductors will have a large number of free electrons, and insulators will not be having free electrons. So through conductors current is able to flow, but through insulators current is not able to flow. Now actually, how can I define electric current? Suppose we have a conducting wire. See, I'll draw a diagram. We have a conducting wire. This conducting wire is connected to a bulb. This is symbol of a bulb. Now there are two ends for the bulb. I just note down the ends as A and B. Okay. Now I'll connect a battery across the ends A and B. The battery is having two terminals. One is a positive terminal and other one is negative. The positive terminal of the battery is having large number of positive charges. I can say it is positive ion. Now the negative terminal is having large number of free electrons. The free electrons having negative charge. And see what happens is the end A is connected to positive terminal and end B is connected to negative terminal. See what we can say is at the end A there is high potential energy. We will call this potential. End A is at high potential energy, end B is at low potential energy. Positive charge is having high potential energy, negative charge having low potential energy. What will happen? Electrons will start to flow from the negative terminal to positive terminal, because conventionally electrons are flowing from negative. Actually electrons are flowing from negative to positive. But according to our convention, the current is from positive to negative. So for the current flow between the terminals A and B, we need to create a potential difference. We need to create an energy difference. Potential energy difference. End A is at high potential, end B is at low potential. Now how can we define the potential difference? We will call it as potential difference between the points. If V is a potential difference, how can you define? V is equal to the work divided by charge. If Q is the charge moving from negative terminal to positive terminal, the work done, if W is the work done, because we have created a potential difference, then what will happen? Charge will move from negative to positive. Conventionally, we say that charge is moving from positive to negative. For a time t, if the charges are moving, how much charge is moving? If Q is the quantity of charge moving in a time t, we can say the current I is equal to Q by T. So what is the definition of current? Current I is equal to Q by T. Q is the charge flowing from negative to positive. Conventionally from positive to negative charge is flowing. So current is equal to Q by T. Okay. Now electric charge has a unit. Electric charge has a unit called Coulomb. And time is having a unit second. Now when you substitute these two units, we will write Coulomb has a symbol C, second has a symbol C. Coulomb by second. Coulomb by second is otherwise known as ampere. So ampere is what? The SI unit of electric current. Okay. To measure the current, we use a device called ammeter. Ammeter is a device used to measure electric current. So we can connect an ammeter here to measure the electric current. This is the ammeter which is used to measure the electric current. Okay. So through this wire, bulb is getting electric current. So the bulb will start to glow. It will start to give light. So what is the essential condition required here? We need to create a potential difference. At the end A, we have created a high potential, end B negative potential. Then only electrons are flowing from negative to positive. And we have seen that current is flowing in opposite direction, that is from positive to negative. It is conventionally accepted. So conventional direction of current is from positive to negative. Okay. Now let us see about electrons. So electrons are having a charge. One electron is having a charge of 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 Coulomb. Okay, this is very small amount. If you want 1 Coulomb of charge, say for 1 Coulomb of charge, we need nearly 6.25 into 10 raised to 18 electrons. See, if you have this number of electron, what we will have? We will have 1 Coulomb of charge. So generally we can write charge Q is equal to N into E. N is the number of electrons and E is the charge of 1 electron. This is called the electric charge. Okay. So ampere is the unit of electric current. Ammeter is a device used to measure smaller currents. We can use devices like a milliammeter. Milli and micro also we can use. Milli or micro ammeters we can use. Okay. So milli or micrometers we can use. Milli we will use when current is of the order of 0.001 ampere. If it is of the order of 0.000001 ampere, what we will use? We will use micrometers. Okay. So that's about electric current. We have seen the equation of electric current. Electric current is defined as the quantity of charge flowing through the cross section. If this is a conductor, through the cross section, electric charge is flowing. Perpendicular to the cross section, electric current is flowing. Electric charges are flowing. So the quantity of electric charge flowing perpendicular to the area cross section in unit time. Charge by time is called current. For the current flow, what we need to maintain? We need to maintain potential difference. What's the equation of potential difference? Work divided by charge. So electrons are doing work, charge is doing work, the battery is doing work to push charges from negative into positive end. So that's the work done, WQ. Now we can give a unit for potential difference. V is called potential difference. How can we give the unit? Work is having unit joule and coulomb. This is for charge, coulomb. Okay, joule per coulomb we can write J by C. It has got another name volt. We can call this also as volt. So volt is the SI unit of potential difference. Okay, so that's about potential. Now to understand the concept of potential difference, I'll give an example also. We know that in our home we will be having water tank. We will place the water tank at a highest position. What happens? When we place the water tank at highest position, it will have a large potential energy. Now if you have a room below on the first floor or ground floor, the room is at a low potential. So that's why we are able to get water from the tank to the room. If you have a room at a higher level than that of a water tank, we will not get water. Okay, so we need to maintain potential energy difference. Here also, the positive is at high potential energy, negative is at a low potential energy. That's why electric current is flowing from positive to negative. This is a concept of potential difference. Okay. So we have seen what is electric current, equation for electric current and equation for potential difference also we have seen. How can you measure potential difference? Using a device called voltmeter. If you want a potential difference, measure the potential difference across A and B. Across the points, here we can connect a device. This connected device is called a voltmeter. We will use a device called a voltmeter. So voltmeter helps us to measure what potential difference. So voltmeter is a device used to measure potential difference. One thing you have to remember, we have to connect ammeter always in series. This is called a series arrangement. Voltmeter, what we have to do, across the points we have to connect in parallel. So voltmeter is connected in parallel and ammeter is connected in series. Okay. Now let us move to another topic, Ohm's law. Ohm's law is a basic law that we are seeing in current electricity. Ohm's law states that potential difference across the ends of a conductor. See, here we have potential difference. It is directly proportional to current flowing through it. See, if we increase the potential difference, current also increases. Experimentally, we can verify that. When we increase the number of batteries, number of cells, if we increase the number of cells, what increase? Potential difference will increase. Then the current also is found to be increased. So how can I write this in equation form? See, we have the potential difference V. If V is the potential difference across the ends of a conductor, it is directly proportional to current flowing through it. Okay. So we have proportionality. How will you write as an equation? We can write V is equal to R into I. R is a constant. This constant is called resistance of the conductor. R is called a resistance. So R is called a resistance. It is called electrical resistance. What is the resistance? It is the opposition provided by the conductor for the current flow. That is called resistance. It has a unit ohm. Ohm is a unit of resistance. We can use the symbol as ohm. How can you write equation of resistance now? R is equal to V by I. Okay. Now I am going to explain how can we conduct the experiment of Ohm's law. See, the resistance is the property. Now there are devices which can create resistance. Those devices are called resistors. We have devices called resistors. Okay. Now how can we do Ohm's law experiment in our lab? So provided here we have a particular concept, that is, when we do the experiment, temperature should be constant. At constant temperature only, Potential difference across the ends of a conductor is directly proportional to current. Okay. Now, how can you do it in lab? How can you do it? How can you verify this? See, we have a resistor. Resistor having a symbol like this. This is symbol of resistor. Now, we'll connect an ammeter. Okay. Now, we need to measure the voltage across the resistor. We'll connect a voltmeter across the terminals, across the ends. Now, we'll have a battery. Now we'll connect a rheostat. This is called a rheostat. What's the need of rheostat? Rheostat can be used to vary the current. Okay. So this is a battery, positive terminal, negative terminal. Positive will connect here, negative will connect. This is negative. So this end should be negative, this end should be positive. What we will do is we will gradually increase the voltage. See, if V is a voltage, okay, we will increase the voltage. Then we will measure the current using the ammeter. Okay, I'll give a few values. For example, I have V and I values. I start with the 1 volt. Let us measure a current of 0.5 amperes. I'll make it double of this. I'll increase the voltage with the help of rheostat. Let me make it 2 voltage. It is saying that current also doubling, it will be 1 ampere. I'll make it 3 volt. What happens? Current also becomes 1.5 amperes. When you plot a graph between V and I, see, we can take V along x-axis, current along y-axis. I use the values like a voltage. Okay, I will just replace this. Voltage here. In both manner we can draw the graph. Current value I use 0.0, it is 0.5, it is 1, 1.5. Voltage values I can use. Which are the voltage values? 1, 2, 3. Corresponding points when you mark, these are the points. Okay. 0.5, 1. 0.5 corresponding to 1, 1 corresponding to 2 and 1.5 corresponding to 3. When you join the points, we will get a straight line. This is a straight line graph. It is called a VI graph of Ohm's law. Now what we will do is we will find the slope of the graph. How will you find slope? Take any 2 points. I choose these 2 points. See, I am choosing these 2 points. I am going to find the slope. How can I find the slope? Change in y coordinate by change in x coordinate. Which are the change in y coordinates corresponding to these 2 points? It is 3 minus 2. Change in y coordinate 3 minus 2. Corresponding change in x coordinate, how will you find? 1.5 minus 1. These are the change in x coordinate. What will you get? 1 divided by 0.5. What is the value? 1 divided by 0.5 will be, it is 2. Okay, 2 ohms. So when you find the slope, what we will get? This is called a slope calculation. Change in y coordinate by corresponding in x coordinate will give the slope. The slope is equal to what? Resistance. Because this is change in voltage, this is change in current. Voltage by current according to Ohm's law, it will be equal to resistance. We are getting resistance 2 ohms. Okay. So in this manner, we can conduct the experiment to prove that what the slope of the graph will give the resistance. Okay. So we can establish the relation V proportional to I with the help of Ohm's law. Whenever we increase the voltage with the help of rheostat, what happens? The current also increases. So we can establish this using with the help of the experiment. Okay. So this is symbol of what? Resistor. I'll draw once again. A symbol of resistor is like this. This is fixed the resistor. Now we have learned that there are different type of resistors. If you want to vary the resistance, what we will give? This is the symbol called variable resistor. Or we can use a rheostat. This is the symbol of rheostat. So we have established the relation connecting potential difference and current across a conductor, provided the temperature should remain constant. Then only Ohm's law is valid. Okay. So we have seen potential difference, then electric current definitions and basic explanation we have seen. Then we have seen Ohm's law also. Now we have one more thing, one more topic remaining here. That is, which are the factors that depend on resistance of a conductor. See, to understand that, we can do an experiment. We will increase the length of the conductor. Okay, we will use different conductors, same material, different length. First, we will take 1 meter length, 2 meter length, 3 meter length. It is saying that the resistance increases. Then we will use same material, different area cross section. We will use thin wires, thick wires or different area cross section. It is seen that when thickness increases, resistance decreases. See, how can you relate then? Resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to what? I told you that length. Whenever you increase the length of conductor, resistance increases. Then what about area cross section? If you increase the area cross section, the resistance decreases. It is inversely proportional. How can you combine R proportional to L by A? Or R is equal to a constant we need. It is called rho. This is symbol called rho. So I will just name rho is the symbol. Rho into L by A. Rho is given a name called resistivity. So rho is indicating what? Resistivity. Resistivity. It is a constant. It depends only on the material of the conductor. Which material we use? If we use copper, copper will have some resistivity. That does not depend on length or area cross, but it depends on temperature. And if you use aluminum, there will be some resistivity. It does not depend on length or area cross section. So it's a property of the material. So what we have got, R is equal to rho into L by A. Rho is called a resistivity. Now the unit of resistivity we can see, resistivity as a unit, ohm meter. Ohm meter is a unit of resistivity. See, how can we conduct this experiment? We take 3 wires. Okay, 3 wires of same material. First wire having length 1 meter, second having length 2 meter, third having length 3 meter. So instead of the resistor, what we have to do? We have to connect these 3 wires separately. Then measure the voltage and current, thereby finding the resistance. What we will understand, when we increase the length, the resistance is increasing. Area cross section, same material, different area cross section we need to consider. See, one we have to use a thin wire, second slightly thicker, third again thicker. In each case, you just repeat the experiment, find the resistance. Then what you will understand, it is inversely proportional to area cross section. Okay, so the resistivity depends on only on the material, but resistance depends on length, area cross section, we can say a material, and as well as temperature also. So that's about the concept called resistivity. Okay, ohm meter is a unit of resistivity. Ohm is a unit of resistance. Then Coulomb is a unit of current. Ampere is a unit of electric. Coulomb is a unit of electric charge. Ampere is a unit of electric current. Then potential difference is having a unit volt. Okay. So for the current flow across a conductor, what we need? We need to maintain a potential difference. One end of the conductor should be at a high potential. We consider positive to be a high potential. Other end should be at a low potential. Then only current flows through the conductor. Okay, when our current flows through the bulb, what happens? Bulb is containing filament. Filament is having higher resistivity. So what happens? It will oppose the flow of electric current. Then the electrons will have energy. Those energy will be converted to light and heat energy. Okay, in that manner, current is flowing through a conductor, provided we need to create a potential difference. How will you connect ammeter? Ammeter is always connected in series. How will you connect a voltmeter? Voltmeter is always connected in parallel. Okay, I hope that you have understood. Thank you.